Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, July 30th. Thanks for being here with me, and let's talk about a little bit what's going on with the energy this week. So we have 4 planets in retrograde, as well as Chiron, which is an asteroid known as the Wounded Healer, went retrograde today in Aries. Now, the concept of the wounded healer is that the light gets in through the wound, and that's where we can heal those things within ourselves that we bring along, those limiting beliefs, those frustrations, those narratives that we are either pick up through others or through those in childhood where we are looking to authority figures to help define our world and help us understand ourselves. And through being a human, we kind of pick up on things. We pick up on messaging. We pick up on, I'm hard to love. I'm too much. Nothing ever goes right for me because it's just not supposed to. It hasn't gone right for my family, and we have to struggle in order to get something. Or everything I try and hold on to slips through my fingers, so on and so forth. And it all goes back to the self and something wrong or fundamentally wrong with your base model. And those limiting beliefs are exactly that. They're limiting. And a belief is just something that you think often. So in a generational sense, we have things that are passed down through families. We have beliefs that are tied to behaviors. We have beliefs that are tied to experiences, especially those that rock the collective. I mean, take a look at what we have going on here. We have a lot of things on repeat that we've experienced as a group of people at some point in time over and over again. It comes back around again to let us know there is still something that needs to be worked through, and it needs to be worked through at the personal level to reverberate out into the collective. It also requires a lot of us to use the voice that has been silenced or has been tampered down or quieted or shushed, and that is in a lot of areas. We see this in the greater world stage, but we're also seeing this most likely in our personal relationships, in our work relationships, in the ways that we communicate with technology, in the ways that we communicate with the greater world at large, now that technology has come into play, and where we don't communicate. So Mercury retrograde, although we will be going direct here in a little while, we're still kind of in the thick of it. And that's going to scramble some things and add another layer of, I don't want to say the word is distraction, but it just muddies the waters, and we're looking for clarity. Now, this energy is asking us to really turn inward, and like I mentioned before, in order for things to change, you really have to kind of work on number one. It's really all you have control over. And that concept of control is also, not necessarily accurate. You've got to really figure out how to roll with the flow on this one. You really need to figure out where your peace is being compromised and where you need to make some shifts in order to protect that, boundary that, and speak up for it. And you may be feeling this occurring all over the place, or you might be feeling it underneath the surface. There's a lot of closed-lipped energy as well, because there is a fear of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, not saying it right. There's a lot of expectations and shoulds being put on the voice of us. And it's time to give that up, essentially. All right. I'm not going to go too deep into the astrology this week because it is still very much what was going on the week before. We do have a void moon, which is going to allow things to feel a little bit void. You're going to feel a little distant from emotions, or the opposite. It kind of is one or the other. And we do have things moving around in Leo. And while that Leo energy is very strong, extroverted, and sparkly, it has that capability of being in your face, a bit arrogant, a bit up its own ass. And that's okay, because we need that from time to time, right? It's all about discernment. And discernment is always the name of the game. What feels right to you at core, in your belly, in your body, more often than not, is the truest path. And we're having a difficulty connecting communication because of these retrogrades, and especially with Mercury, between the head and the heart. Understand that there is a disconnect for a reason, to get you to feel more into the heart and remove yourself a bit from the scurrying of the mind and that hurricane sort of tornado energy that's whipping around. And understand that you can come to center at any point, and you have to be the one to say, I need to do this. Where can you consistently show up and ground? A lot of the reason why I chose to go out and film this morning is I wanted to get my feet in the dew. I wanted to really feel into this energy and harness it down within myself. And that takes energy to go and do. I didn't want to go outside. I wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to get all eaten up by mosquitoes. I didn't want to be sweaty. I didn't want to be slipping all over the place in this dewy, funky grass. And then I did. Because I do want to. I do want to feel those things. I do want to feel my body. I do want to know that I am here in this moment. And yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And there's all kinds of things that I could worry about. And there's all kinds of things that I could fixate on. And I could go back in time and beat myself over the head over things. Or I could go in the future and make myself feel so concerned about what it is I am to do next. Or I could just sit here and take a moment and plant my feet in this grass and feel that funky wetness and feel the wind, hear the birds, see the leaves and the dappling through the trees. And know that no matter what, this tree will still be here. This grass will still be here. The sun will rise and set. It can't rain all the time, right? This isn't bypassing feelings or fake positivity. I think it's reality. And I think you have to make it something that works for you. And I think that that is why I come here and do these things. Because if you need to see an example, okay, I'm down. Let it be me. So we learn together. All right, let's jump into the concepts because I don't have a card or a crystal to show you. All right, so for those of you that chose trees, I have a message from the trees. They ask for space. They ask for space for you to grow. Because there is an absence of feeling like you have breathing room. There's some tension here in the chest with you, my tree group. There's some feelings of grief that need to be worked through. Some feelings of not being enough or being too much. And at the same time, it's both. Too much when you're able to articulate how you're feeling, but you don't really know how to express it in a way that isn't frantic or angry or charged. And then feeling like not enough because you want to be acknowledged for all that you're doing, all that you're showing, all that you've grown. And you want someone, I'm seeing when you go up to a door frame as a little kid and someone takes a pencil and marks your height. You've spiritually grown here. There's been a shift. There's been a maturity. There's been another ring put in the trunk of your tree self. And what's being asked of you is to recognize how far you've come, to understand that the path hasn't always been easy. It's been rocky and it's had all kinds of junk in the trunk. And it hasn't been something that you've been able to acclimate to as quickly as you had hoped. And again, it's that phrase, your pace is perfect. It's going to take you how long it's going to take you, and it's going to take you that long, and you don't know what it is. And some of you can speed it up or slow it down, but it doesn't really matter because you're trying to control a situation that you can't control. Release, relinquish control. When you're feeling like you need to manage something or you need to task it or explain yourself in regards to whatever it is. Explain your effort. Explain your interest. Explain your stance. Just know that you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. You're expending a lot of energy and spinning your wheels that way. And the message is for you to consider the network that is inherently part of you as being a divine being on this world, in this planet, in this body, in the cosmos. If you can take a step back into a center space and realize that being in this very moment can bring that peace and flow, that calm, that respite, that space to take a breath, that space to have a nap, to have a cry, to have a meal, to have a little something, a little sweet treat, a place to put your feet up, to lean back on someone else, someone who cares for you and sees you. And a lot of times, that person you're leaning back onto is you, that just wants to be seen as this formidable tree, this space creator, this life giver, this breath of air. You don't have to hold your breath. You don't have to scrunch yourself up. You can spread out. You can take up space. And these limiting beliefs that are cycling and circling and coming back around again, seemingly kind of sticking a little tree branch in the spoke of your bike, your spiritual e-bike that you're taking up the mountain, it can't slow you down any more than you allow it to. Remember, when we have obstacles in our path, sometimes they come back around again, or issues in different with different faces, same kind of vibe. During retrogrades, in order to get us to see that we can do things a different way. What can you shift? What can you change? Can you change your perspective? Can you change your reaction? If you can't do that right away, you can change how quickly you respond. Sit with it. You don't have to get back to anybody any faster than you want to. Sleep on it. You don't need to make a decision until it feels right. And you'll know when that is. You don't need to have an alarm set for that. You don't need to have something defined. Let it go. Let yourself breathe. Lean back. Go hug a tree. Put your feet in the dirt. Take a break. Things will be clearer in a couple days. Things will be clearer when you give yourself a break, when you get off your own case. Just be gentle with yourself, all right? I feel you. Okay. Moving on to flowers, for those of you that chose flowers. There's a desire for more. And, okay, everybody's like, sure, yeah, more, okay. But this time, it's on your terms. Because you've had to do some negotiating, and you've had to kind of take what it is that you wanted to do, or your passions, or something that you're interested in, something that you want to purchase for yourself, something that you want to work on with yourself, something that you'd like to go and do, a place you'd like to see, an activity that you'd like to have with someone else or another group. And it's gotten kind of usurped by some drama and some stuff that other people have kind of brought into your space. Now, some of this is difficult because you're carrying a belief that you're not worth the time it takes to get to know you. I'm just going to let that sit for a second. Holding a belief that you're not worth the time it takes to understand you. That you're not worth the time it takes to figure out how to be loved by someone. And that's an old wound that I believe is exacerbated here by the shift of Chiron and Aries retro. It brings with it an emotional vibe, an emotional and sort of like a little kid way, like a tantrumy sort of vibe that wants to come up and come out. And this up and out vibe is getting triggered, tickled, snagged. I hear snagged. Like when you walk by and you're wearing, a couple layers and it gets caught on something. Or you're walking out, you're walking out of a car, or you're walking through an area that has, nature, and you walk right into one of those spider webs that just, kind of clings to your face or gets caught on you. This sort of residue is around in order to get you to feel a sense of discomfort. Because discomfort, while it isn't comfortable, is going to make you want to change something. Don't let the situations that keep coming up delay you from doing the things that you're interested in or that you want to do. Don't let the seeming limitations deter you from going forward. You have to trust that past this, if you put out that energy of, I want this, so I'm going to go do it, and I don't necessarily know the how, because remember, we don't get to know the how. Releasing the expectations about what it looks like will allow for there to be space for the universe to come in and surprise you, where somebody comes in and, throws you some money on your Venmo or your PayPal or your Cash App, just for shits and gigs. Or somebody really likes what it is that you're doing and you get, your story shared, or someone talks about you to your boss, or someone leaves you a great review. Insert how that works for you there, right? There's lots of ways that we can be promoted by others. We can be talked about by others. We can be supported by others. And it's through allowing there to be more doors open than perceived walls or doors shut and locked and barred that will create energy for those things to stay open. You're not worth the effort it takes to get to know you on a level that is important to you, that is required for you to get to a certain space within yourself where you get to feel comfortable being vulnerable. In the vulnerability is where the growth lies and where the expansion can occur. You can't expand until you drop the armor. You can't expand until you allow yourself to be all of you. And that's going to require showing up in a way that may be a bit different than what you're used to. More so, in a way that's different than what they are used to. Insert your they group in mind here, or person. And sometimes it's you. Sometimes you have to convince you. Because what you don't realize is that you already have convinced you that you are one way and can't be another. Now, I'm not talking about gaslighting yourself and making yourself so delusional that, you're ignoring things that, that's not what I mean at all. It's just you're going to have to get to a space where you can release some of these limitations that are perceived. A lot of times it's a voice that we can recall when we hear it in the head, in the mind. And remember, Retrograde energy is going to ask more and more for you to show up and say, no, this is what I want. No bigger, no better. This or better, this or bigger, this or more. Surprise me. I can't possibly come up with the coolest way this is going to work out. Because you've been reviewing how things have gone on in the past. You're actually making all kinds of connections to where you understand why it went down like this. You understand why it went like this. You understand why people showed up this way. You understand why people didn't show up. You understand why you moved to a different area. You understand why you left a position. You understand why you started one. It's all about following your intuition here. And you're not used to that all the time, especially the you that has kind of convinced themselves that they have problems before they can get what they need. They've got to figure that stuff out first. There really isn't that much to figure out. It's more letting go, similar to trees. You have to trust you. If that's difficult, or you're not sure where to start, feel free to reach out. This is a lot of what I do. And I promise, even though things seem really friggin' hard and really convoluted and very confusing, clarity is coming. And a lot of it is going to come from you. But you've got to show up. You've got to walk the talk of, I want things to change. Because if you do want things to change, then you're going to have to get uncomfortable a little bit. You're going to have to let some things bother you to a point where you might want to act out and feel validated, vindicated that you should and you could and you're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be this. You're allowed to be that. Sure, sure. I'll stand right by you and say, hell yeah. But do you want to still feel like this? Is this how you want life to go? Is this how you want your day to be? Is this where you want the little bit of energy that you have to get soaked up in? Or do you want flow? Do you want peace? Do you want joy? You're going to find that in the little things. You're going to find that in your day-to-day. You're going to find that in those moments when you get to sit with yourself and have those conversations where you realize, hey, I was doing the best I could. And man, I'm proud of that version of me. And maybe they didn't have it all figured out, and you still don't. Nobody does. Whoever's telling you that is full of shit. You take each moment as it comes, and you say, thanks. What do I do with this? And you lean into what feels good. And if you don't know what feels good to you yet, that's a beautiful place to start. Choose you. Over and over and over and over again. Because that is life in Earth School. Whew, that was a big one. All right, those are the messages this week. Thank you for being here with me. I would love to work with you. Check my website, leave me some feedback, share it with your friends, hit me up, let me know what's going on, and know that I'm pulling for you. I care for you guys. You got this. You just have to believe you do. I do. I believe you do. And I know you believe that I do. And a lot of days I need that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing how you feel so I can share how I do. All right. Have an awesome week. Take a nap. Eat some chocolate. Go hug a puppy. Peace.